Hello, tonight our lesson is on multiplying decimals. So here our first example, we have 1 4/10 multiplied by 2/10. So when we multiply decimals, the thing we need to remember is that we always need to count the number of decimal places in our factors. Remember what we said factors are. Factors are numbers that are multiplied together. Alright, so here we have two factors, 1 4/10 and 2/10. And each one has one decimal place. So together, that's a total of 2 decimal places. That's how many we must have in our answer. So let's go ahead and multiply. I have 1 4/10 multiplied by 2/10. So I'll go 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. Now, I can put a 0 placeholder and multiply the next row of numbers, but it's a 0. So it won't make any difference to our final answer. All right, let's count the number of decimal places again. That's 1, 2. So in our answer, we'll start at the far right and we'll move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So the answer we have is 28 hundredths, or 0.28. All right, here we have a couple more examples. So the first one, 1 5/10, has one decimal place. 4 is a whole number. It doesn't have any decimal places. So these two factors multiplied will give an answer that should have one decimal place. All right, let's go ahead and do it. So 1 5/10 multiplied by 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Let's carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6. Now let's place our decimal. We need to have one decimal place. So we'll start at the right. We'll move over 1. So the answer is 6 0/10, or just 6. Okay, next example. Same thing, we have one decimal place in the two factors. So when we multiply, we'll only have one decimal place in our answer. So 20 multiplied by 6/10. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 2 is 12. 0 placeholder, and then 0 times anything is 0. So we end up with 1, 2, 0 as our numbers. Now let's place the decimal point. So we need to have one decimal place. Move it to the right, one place. So we have 12.0, or just 12. All right, so how are you doing? All right, go ahead and try number 4. Pause it and then restart to check your answer. Welcome back from pausing the video. The first thing I want you to notice is there are one decimal place in the two factors. So our answer will have one decimal place. Now let's multiply. 11 times 2 4/10. So 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 1 is 4, 0 placeholder. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 1 is 2. Add up the columns, and now place the decimal point. So 26 4/10. So how'd you do? Did you get it right? Okay, I hope so. Now let's try the next one. 3/10 has one decimal place, and 1/100th has two decimal places. So our answer is going to have 3 decimal places. Now, instead of lining these up and multiplying them like we did the previous examples, we can take a little bit of a shortcut, because the only non-zero factors we have are 3 and 1. Okay, so if I just ignored the decimal point for now and just multiplied 3 times 1, that would equal 3. All right, now let's go back, and again, let's note that we have 1, 2, 3 decimal places. So my answer must have 3 decimal places. So I'm going to start at the right and go 1, 2, 3, and place my decimal point and put 2 0 placeholders to fill it in. So the answer we should get would be 3 thousandths. Okay, so I took a little bit of a shortcut there instead of multiplying out long ways like this, because I knew that whenever I multiply zeros with anything, it's just going to be 0. So multiplying 3 times 1 would give me 3, and then I can just place my decimal point. But, if you're not comfortable with that, if that doesn't make sense to you, just stick with what we've been doing. Okay, here's a little self-quiz. Copy the problems down, pause the video, then restart to check your answers. Welcome back from pausing the video. Our first answer, we're going to have 8.5 times 4, and that one comes out to be 34.0, or just 34. Okay, so how'd you do on that one? Okay, the next one, we have 3 8/10 multiplied by 2/10. So multiplying and then placing the decimal point, there's 2 decimal places, so 1, 2 in the answer. So for that one, we should get 76 hundredths, or 0.76. Did you get that one right? Okay, very good. Number 3, I'm going to use the little shortcut I showed you on the previous slide. I'm going to multiply 5 times 1, and that gives me 5. And now I'll place my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Decimal goes over there, and I need 3 zeros. So that comes out to be 0.0005, or 5 10,000ths. So how'd you do on that one? Okay, well, thank you for taking the notes. And don't forget, read some books.